is one of the early, I would say, players in the internet world. So for them to be able to survive from that until today, that says something. So I won't say much apart from really to quickly hand over the mic. And really for him to start sharing. Really, we would like to get it as informal as we can. Do ask questions. I think the whole idea is that it's for us to learn from each other. Okay? With that, I'll pass on the mic. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Richard. Firstly, I must thank all of you for coming here to listen to what I have to say. Hopefully, you won't go back with something that is useful for whatever that you are doing. Thank you, team, for asking me and inviting me, and thank you, Siva. I've known Siva for many years, more than 10 years in the early days when he was involved with venture capital. He just told me that it's given that it's World Cup. Thank you for coming here, even though it's World Cup today. If you don't mind, maybe this feels more comfortable. Like Li Jun said, let's keep it informal. Maybe what I'll do today is maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, about that time. Maybe give a little bit about the way we started in this e-commerce era. The Long Dog Mine. The Long Dog Mine we have recently and going to brand it to the Long Dog Mine. Some of the struggles that we've gone through, some of the times that we have cried, some of the times we laughed. Certainly it's enjoyable and challenging 10 years. People always ask, we are pioneer and we are still around. Then we tell them that we have staying power. The one thing we can claim is we have staying power. And maybe just as a guide or just a feeling for me, how many of you are actually running your own business? How many of you are aspiring to start your own business? How many of you are actually working and okay, most of you have some business of your own, so I feel that maybe I'm not quite qualified to talk. But I think just as an intro, let me give a profile of myself, where I come from. I'm certainly not young in the .com internet business. I'm an accountant by training. I did my studies in New Zealand and came back to work as an auditor, like everyone who is accountant trained. Worked for 10 years in Singapore. I'm a Malaysian from East Malaysia, so if you find that my accent is a bit funny, so you know where I came from. So I got involved in software when I was in Singapore as a regional director for software company. So I got involved in manufacturing, I got involved with a software company, and I got involved in acquiring companies in early days in Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines. I used to work as finance director for a software company, and we started a few operations in Southeast Asia. In fact, we started the first 100% very early days in 1991, the 100% company in China. In 1991, China was just opening up. No? At that time, it was so hard to get a 100% company, foreign company in China. So we started there. So when I acquired a company in Malaysia that was our agent, I decided that maybe I should come back to Malaysia. So in 1995, I came back to Malaysia. Worked for the company for a couple of years, then started a software company doing ERP software. Okay. Then like all ERP software company, if anyone is involved with software implementation, ERP, there's some Microsoft people here. When you don't do very well, they will pressure you and say that we're going to cut you off and we're not going to appoint you again. When you do well, we said maybe we should do it ourselves. So they take you over, and since they own the software, they have a strong arm to squeeze you. So in 1995, they bought us out. And then after that, I was thinking, what should I do? So 1995, 96, .com, there's the era of the internet.com. So we decided with one of my colleagues that maybe we should do something on the internet. Right? And we were wondering what to do on the internet. If you remember in the early days on the internet, the big thing is there's a lot of venture money in the US. They give a lot of venture money, and the first thing they tell you to do is spend as much as you can and spend as fast as you can, and create all the eyeballs. And then the advertising company start to come in and says that when you have eyeball, we can monetize for you, you can track. And there was a great oversell of one end the advertising potential, and the other end the VC pushing very hard for the internet company. So we started in that era and says that maybe we should get ourselves involved with internet. Being an accountant by training, of course, I was a bit conservative. Will this really work? Will this make money? This internet thing. So we decided that in the very early days that we should do something that have some level of transaction through the internet. When I was doing ERP software, a lot of company was looking at internet enabling the processes. And I think that is a great productivity process. If a company can enable the processes through the internet, it would be a great productivity gain. So I thought maybe in the internet, if they can transact online, then it would be a great thing. So we decided that we look around and say that maybe we should do some online auction. Online auctioning is a great model for internet platform. I mean, it's very useful for internet because you have a lot of people coming in, you have a lot of bidding, that kind of stuff. So it's like a dynamic negotiation kind of thing that can happen. So we decided that let's do online auction. Okay, so we set out to build our own software. So now, I mean, in the early days, you can't really buy auction software. Now you can buy for a few $100, you can buy auction software. So if you want to start an auction site, you don't need a lot of money. So we built our own software, and we started not as long as buy PC. I don't know whether anyone is in that 1998, 99, whether you are surfing the net. We started buy PC because we felt that the first group of people going online to do anything would be those familiar with PC. And we felt that in the buying and selling of PC parts and memories, upgrades, etc., it would be an ideal platform. So we started 3 categories: PC, computer, software, and handphone communication. Okay? So after 2 months, in fact, the first 2 months, people start to post all kinds of things. So we have to actually delete them because it says that it's only a computer and PC product. So after the first 2 months, we say that since everyone is posting all other things, why don't we open up to all other categories? So buy PC as a name for the website doesn't sound a bit right, no? Doesn't sound quite correct. So we say that why don't we use Lelong? It's a local, it's catchy, and it means auction and hopefully good deals. So we call it Lelong.com.my, and that's how we started in 1999. At the same time, we are also very gung-ho. Later we'll talk about as entrepreneurs.